OTAs and mandatory minicamp offer the first glimpse at what players are going to look like in your system, whether you picked up these guys via free agency or through the draft. But OTAs and minicamp also offer the first glimpse of what year 2 and year 3 players look like. These are often the years where players make the biggest jumps, and one of the players I think may make a huge jump heading into year 2 is wide receiver Danny Gray. This last week in OTAs, Danny Gray kind of went off. He was targeted 4 times, but only caught 2 passes. But on the surface, it sounds a whole lot worse than it was. On one of those passes, it was extremely underthrown. Danny Gray just got behind the defense, burned Talno Hufanga and George Odom. Sam Darnold didn't extend the ball further enough down the field and really left it there to hang. He hesitated and didn't throw quick enough. This led Danny Gray to have this pass broken up. But his route on the play was crisp, and his 4.3 speed is on full display every time he steps on the field. Gray has also had the opportunity to fully absorb the playbook. And last year, towards the end of the season, Gray was actually even able to get into games catching 1 pass. And while this may not sound like a whole lot to most people in the league, it's an extreme accomplishment in Kyle Shanahan's offense, where Kyle Shanahan kind of micromanages the wide receiver position and even put Brandon Ayuk in the doghouse, despite him being an extremely well-gifted wide receiver. His routes are always crisp and his hands are sticky, but even Brandon Ayuk had to spend some time refining his craft. This last offseason and last season as a whole gave Danny Gray the opportunity to refine his craft further. And I think he's done just that. His routes, like I mentioned, are much cleaned up. In this video, I hope to examine where Danny Gray came from and what I expect from Danny Gray going forward. Gray started his college career at Bling College, where he needed to meet the academic requirements to play D1 football. But as a freshman, Gray went off. He caught 15 passes for 409 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was named the first team All-Southwest Junior College Football Conference. Then, Gray transferred over to SMU. Gray became an immediate starter for SMU and caught 33 passes for 448 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was named first team All-American Athletic Conference as a senior after finishing that season with 49 receptions for 803 yards and 9 touchdowns. Gray decided to enter the draft. He was 6 foot and right around 190 pounds. But this is where things get really interesting. At the combine, Gray ran his 40-yard dash in 4.33 seconds. That's blistering fast. And on the field, it showed up his rookie year. Luckily for him, Trey Lance continued to find Gray extremely deep down the field, whether it be in practice or during preseason. He had that nice long 76-yard touchdown from last preseason. Gray stood out in a couple of different ways during his college film. One of the biggest aspects that I think fits the Niners well is his ability to run after the catch. He's not just a burner, but once he gets the ball in his hands, he makes these lines that really make it almost impossible for the defense to catch him due to his incredible speed. And once he gets up to speed, you're going to need a true athlete to chase him down. But there were some weaknesses that demonstrated itself on his film, and probably a big reason why he wasn't able to contribute right away as a rookie. One of the biggest things was his strength. He wasn't really ready to start right off the bat because he had below average play strength in college. He also needed to work on his route running and had some focus drops at times. I think the second year in Kyle Shanahan's offense will offer a lot of growth from Gray, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Gray rotated in more frequently. And heck, he might even be on the field as much as a player like Jawan Jennings. I also think he fits a lot better with the Niners quarterbacks than he fit with Jimmy Garoppolo. While Brock Purdy might not have as strong as an arm of Jimmy Garoppolo, he does tend to throw it deeper and doesn't hesitate as long as Jimmy Garoppolo, and actually has faith in hitting it down the field. An example of this is the Christian McCaffrey long touchdown pass up the sideline, or the Ayuk touchdown pass. But not just that, If Brock Purdy isn't ready to start the season, you have two extremely gifted quarterbacks, and arguably, they're better at throwing deep balls than balls across the middle in congested areas. So let's say Trey Lance is starting. Gray offers the great ability to line up on the outside and burn people. And Lance has a phenomenal deep ball. So these two combined could be a deadly weapon. But it's not just in the long streak games where I think that Gray is going to improve. I also think that he has a nice ability to take jet sweeps and really put some added stress on the defense. So far in OTAs, it looks like Gray has done everything the Niners coaches required out of him, and I hope the best for Gray in this upcoming season. What do you guys think about Gray and his blistering fast 40-yard time? Do you think Kyle Shanahan will be able to effectively utilize him this year, or do you think maybe he's just a bust? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton to me if you liked and subscribed. Thank you guys so much for watching.